10? You got 10? Thank you to our $5 patrons, Redwolf 4765, Midnight Gem Lord, and Sean. And a very big thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Redwolf 4765. And another very big thank you to our $10 patron, Robbie Uchiha. And a very big thank you to our $20 patron, Alex Ice Rose. And another very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're on this breakdown / live reaction and analysis of Igneel's top 10 characters in 7 Deadly Sins who can beat the one ultimate Escanor. Please remember to leave your own thoughts on who can beat the one ultimate Escanor in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below where you support for as low as $1 $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the live reaction. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter, and here we are to do a live reaction to Igneel's top 10 character in 7 Deadly Sins who can beat the one ultimate Escanor. And this one's spicy. This one's spicy. I know they said they were going to drop a 7 Deadly Sins ranking. I don't think this is that video. I don't know. Once again, I've not seen it. I think this came out 22 hours ago at the time of recording. So I'm not sure. I've not watched the video yet, so I'm here to do that now. Let me think. Before we even hop into the video, can I think of 10 characters? I think I can, but hold on. Before we do that, make sure you go check out the original video, which will be linked in the description down below, along with Igneel's channel. Go sub up, go like up, go run up the original video. We love more 7 Deadly Sins content out there. It is a rarity. It is a rarity, to say the very least. So the more 7 Deadly Sins content, the better. Make sure you go peep it, go run it up, go like it up, go comment it up, please. I greatly appreciate it. And let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. However, now let's just hop right into it. Editing me. Editing me. Ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo. Hey guys. Igneel here.
Yo, what's good, Igneel? 10 characters that can defeat... No, not you. 10 characters who can defeat the one ultimate Escanor. Arthur. Chaos King Arthur. Cath. Chaos Cath. No, well, that's the same thing. Chaos King Arthur. Chaos. Cath. True Magic Mel. Arguably, the Supreme Deities are the Prime Supreme... Well, we don't know what that is. But the Prime Supreme Deity is a really bad matchup for Escanor because he wouldn't be able to damage her at all. She's immune to all physicals, which is the one ultimate Escanor's main thing. And she can diffuse all his magical attacks because it's literally just based on her magic. We see in Cursed by Light, she can ignore that. And then she could just literally sit there and stall him out. I don't think she's... I mean, maybe. Like, Cursed by Light Supreme Deity isn't strong enough to do anything to that Escanor at all, like, physically, but she could literally just stand there, and he would just... and then that's it. I mean, I could see the arguments for Lance. Lance is rough, though, because then you gotta argue Lance greater than Prime Demon King. And that's not an impossible argument to make. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm cooking up Lance versus battles, but, like, it's not an impossible argument to make. It's just a logistically hard one, considering how playful Arthur is in that encounter. We have no quantification for how much power he's using, if he's restricted or not. It's so up in the air. But let's just throw Lance in there, because I'm trying to get to 10. I'm trying to get to 10 characters. I mean, you could make a solid argument Assault Mode Bell. Because I have a whole video argument planned about this. But personally, I put AML either at least relative to the one ultimate and Prime Demon King, if not flat out above. But that's just me. That's just me, though. So I understand that. But then who else? Because I don't think Bond. I think Bond... I mean, you could argue Bond could stall it out. Or, like, Bond could open with Physical Hunt and, like, just drain. So maybe that. But, like, in a head-to-head fight, I think Bond loses pretty definitively. I don't see any way for Merlin. I mean, unless... I mean, you could cheat it. You could you could cheat it by saying Chaos Cath greater than any... Chaos Cath greater than any Escanor that we see, because Chaos Cath should be greater than Prime Demon King, and then all the sins do something to Chaos Cath, and then you get 10 pretty quickly, because even Diane damages them. So maybe you do that. I'm not sure about that. That's a little bit geeky and freaky. But hold on, let me stop theorizing. Let's hop right into the video. Let's let Igneel talk that talk.
It's been a while, couple of months. I would assume that you already know the topic of this video, so without further ado, let's get straight into it.
All right.
So there's two reasons why the supreme deity negs.
Okay. I knew it. I knew it. See. Sometimes I be spitting just a little bit. Sometimes I know the series. Sometimes I'm dumb though. Like it was on the Recent Four Nights review where everyone was like, "You idiot, Gawain is right there," and I was like, "There's no way. She's like blatantly in plain sight," and I just missed her. And then I opened up the chapter, looked right where y'all said, right above Kyan's shoulder, and she was right there. Sometimes I'm just like illiterate and blind. I just am. But like I can think a little bit sometimes, rarely. But if I had to take a guess, it is going to be the physical immunity. He says two things, right? So physical immunity due to her magic, and the ability to defuse any of Escanor's magical attacks. I think those are going to be the two things, and then she just stalls him out, and then bada bing, bada boom. Because the one ultimate Escanor, the biggest issue with him is that he's very short-lived. Like, especially at the rate that things move in 7 Deadly Sins, he's probably around at most for 10 minutes. People can last longer than 10 minutes in 7 Deadly Sins, as long as they can stall them. So, yeah, the Supreme Deity is a W take. But let's see what Igneel says the reasons are.
The one ultimate Escanor. One, Escanor's using a portion of her power. If you didn't know, it's a grace, so she would be able to nullify the effects of sunshine, or even just remove it from Escanor, and then Escanor will be back to his little wimpy self, and then gets one-shotted. Two, physical.
I wonder. I mean, we never get to see it. That's a good question. I wonder, like, could the Demon King Supreme Deity, because like notably we know the kids can't, at least for the case of the commandments, the kids cannot just like run up on anybody and be like, Abguriba, and then their commandment's gone. Like, they need to have physically, the commandment holder needs to relinquish it willingly, or the commandment holder needs to be beaten down to the point where they cannot resist anymore, or they could be a corpse, and then you can take the commandment out. So I wonder what the grace is. I mean, probably. I would assume so. I would assume that most likely the deities have like a higher level spell that allows them to just be like, boop, and then their gifted power goes back. And it's highly possible that they even have, maybe. It's possible that they have a failsafe built in. Like, notably considering how many failsafes are revealed to be part of the commandments. Not only are the commandments power, not only are the commandments curses, but they also, when gathered, turn you into the Demon King. Like, considering those many, sorry, I don't know, I got some in my eye, but considering there are that many failsafes just chilling inside the commandments alone, I would imagine that there's probably some failsafe where if grace, like it's like an Excel formula, like if grace is used against creator of grace nullifies and leaves vessel and then returns to creator. I'm assuming there's something like that, so that's a good point.
Attacks will not work on the Supreme Deity. She just negs it. That's
Yep.
one of her magical abilities, and Escanor, especially in the one ultimate, is all about physical, just raw punches. And another reason, his magical attacks won't have any effect on the Supreme Deity, because she gave that ability to the grace. So there's just zero win cons for the one ultimate.
That's the Supreme Deity. Unfortunately, she got left in what I would say. I mean, the movie looks better than seasons 3 and 4. Don't get me wrong, but I would say is a pretty mediocre movie. The thing is, like, she's super broken. Like, she's very hacked out. Like, you literally can't beat her most of the time. Like, unless you have darkness-based attacks that are extremely powerful, by the way, you aren't beating her. It's as simple as, like, you simply lose. Like, you straight hard lose as the Supreme Deity. If you rely purely on physicals, you lose, because she's immune to all physicals. And if you have magic attacks of extreme varieties, but they aren't darkness-based, you lose. Because she can diffuse King's nature magic. She can, well, I think she does take damage from rock. So if you have magically infused rocks, they can do damage. But nature magic can be diffused, light magic can be diffused, fire magic can likely be diffused. Anything that's like organic for the most part can be diffused. You need darkness, and that's crazy. Like, that's just wild to me. That's absolutely bonkers. But let's see.
In this situation, you'll just get negged.
Yeah.
Right, next up is the Demon King. So we've already seen the Demon King versus Escanor, well, the one ultimate Escanor. Escanor was able to blitz him a bit and was able to do some damage. But the thing is that Demon King wasn't actually like using his hacks or his abilities. He was just like using raw punches. So in terms of raw strength, sure, the one ultimate Escanor has it, but the Demon King has just multiple hacks that could neg the one ultimate Escanor.
I suppose that is true. Like, notably, I put the one ultimate Escanor Prime Demon King mainly because it's just straight. The Demon King gets. But, like, Escanor could never, like meet. meet the Demon King. Like, the Demon King can literally just, once again, this is characters who can beat Escanor. It's not characters who are stronger than. Okay, so see, that opens the alleyway a little bit wider, because Escanor can't use magic on him, and the Demon King should be more than capable of surviving fisticuffs. And once again, the one ultimate Escanor lasts what, like 10 minutes, if that? Probably like 5, maybe 4, 3. Who knows? Maybe just 2. So, like, who knows? But the Demon King should be able to bulk that. Should be able to bulk that pretty well. And plus, we see that without Power Amplify, the one ultimate kind of does get restrained by the Protanic Demon King. That is something that's like, that does happen. And that's supposed to be the weakest form of the Demon King, or at least like a relatively weak form, even though it's maybe the strongest. Like, I shouldn't say that. I won't give my full opinions on that, but maybe the strongest, because it does some crazy stuff. But the Britannic Demon King does hold back Escanor, and Merlin does need to power amplify all of them. And notably, the one ultimate Escanor wasn't even being focused in that. I believe it's Eden 0 or Death 0 or something like that massive attack, and he's able to be restrained. And obviously, when Escanor throws a magical attack, bounces off, because the ruler. So, yeah, the Demon King is still a pretty bad matchup, and would probably outlast Escanor. I think if they were to have fisticuffs, I think Escanor would win. If it was like a boxing match and it was to knockout, yeah. But if it's like a fight to the death, the Demon King's always going to win, because he's just going to be able to stall out Escanor. Stalling out Escanor works way too well, so yeah, it works out.
One of them is being, having miasma, which pretty much decays the body and mind of humans, and that version of Escanor is dying rapidly while he's using his life.
I don't know, I'm not sure if it's confirmed. But we know the graces provide immunity to things like the commandments. So I don't think miasma would bother that Escanor. And we see Escanor, when trapped in he's literally trapped in the perfect cube with an assault on Meliodas, who's consistently also releasing miasma. And that doesn't do anything to him. Like, what does Escanor dirty in that fight is Meliodas. Meliodas literally whooping him. But the miasma never bothers Escanor. And I don't think so. I don't think the miasma would do anything to the one ultimate either. I mean, it probably wouldn't help, but it wouldn't hurt. So it would just be neutral. Like, I don't think it would actually be able to do much, like, damage-wise, or, like, give the Demon King a sort of advantage. I think if you want to talk about, like, hexes for the Demon King, it's going to be the ruler. He could... I mean, can he activate any of the commandments? I mean, hatred, maybe. But then again, Escanor's whole thing is pride, so hatred wouldn't work. Escanor's not going to turn its back on the Demon King. I mean, who knows what kind of thoughts are going through Escanor's head, but I don't think he's going to lose faith or have any impure thoughts. I don't know. I think it's mainly just like ruler plus longevity that gives Demon King the win there, because it's not hands. It's definitely not hands. Let's see.
Energy, and not only that, the Demon King also has like death manipulation, like with like it's similar to like how Grey Demons have death manipulation, but instead of solid darkness, he uses mist. And also the Demon King has just like regen, so whatever damage Escanor gives him, he'll just be able to regenerate.
I do agree with that. The Death Mist, too, that is something. He did rain those down on Belialowin. How effective were they, though? Well, Merlin left Belialowin at that time, I'm pretty sure, so I think that doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, he does have the Death Mist. You should, like, it's a weird thing, but you should be able to argue that the Demon King should have all, like, generic species-wide abilities. Like, he should have access to Darkstone. He should have access to all that. I guess they would affect it. I mean, there's no reason for them not to affect Escanor. Like, I wouldn't say Seven Deadly Sins is a series like Dragon Ball, where, like, you can... I mean, sometimes you can kind of ignore hacks. You can brute force hexes. Because, like, Gother's magic gets brute forced. So, I don't know. It's very weird. Like, I'll talk about that. Because, like, notably in a series like Dragon Ball, if you just have enough gains, hexes just don't work on you. Like, literal existence erasure. Ow! That was fine. That was light. Mind control. Yeah! You're getting it, like, yes! That. Light work. What other? There are definitely, like, numerous examples of hexes just not working. But that's in Dragon Ball. Seven Deadly Sins is kind of weird about, like, hacks ignoring. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
And also he has flight as well. And he also has darkness manipulation. He has Hull Blaze, which makes regeneration on the level of like Bond's immortality. So, which is like high mid region or mid high region, one of the two. And the ruler. So what the ruler does essentially, it pretty much reverses the effects of magical attacks, and it can also neg magic attacks. In like any weakening or anything that's like got to do with like damaging him, weakening him, it would just reverse the effects. So if you try to damage him, you will essentially heal him. If you try make him weaker by some magical hack, it will strengthen him or make him stronger. So you would have to have like healing abilities to really counter this, because he can turn this on and off. But
and Escanor ain't got that.
Keeps this on, and he also has the sword, so he will get like a 10 times increase based off of Lancelot's statements of when you use a weapon and you channel your magic through it, you get a 10 times increase. So he has that. And he didn't use his sword when he was fighting Escanor, so with his sword, he'll probably just like cut up Escanor, and Escanor wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely.
That's why I think the Demon King would actually win. Well, not that alone, but I gave multiple other reasonings.
Yeah, that's 2 for 2. 2 for 2 on people who beat Escanor. It's gotta be the Chaos Cast stuff, right? It's gotta be the Chaos Cast stuff, right? Oh, this one's gonna get people mad. Oh, Lord. Hold on. I gotta try and formulate an argument right now. Before I let Igneel spit, let me try and formulate an argument right now. Hold on. I'm trying to cook. My ears are steaming. My brain's overloading. I can't cook. It has to be the Chaos Cast stuff. It has to be the Chaos Cast stuff. There's nothing else. Like, there's no, especially base Diane, like, maybe, not even Gideon. Because Gideon does no, like, this is going to be diabolical. But I think if he brings up the Chaos Cast stuff here, that's how he gets the 10. That's how he gets the 10 with everyone else, too. Because who else is there in the Chaos Cath fight? Because let's say you have people who genuinely beat him. Mel beats True. Chair, stop that. Bad. But regardless, Mel beats. That's solid. That's confirmed. Chaos beats. That's solid. That's confirmed. Chaos Cath. Escanor literally has no way to execute him. That's confirmed. Chaos itself. Obviously, Escanor can't beat that. Those are 4 solid confirmed ones. Lancelot, you can make the argument, because Chaos Arthur stuff. Chaos Arthur stuff is super duper nebulous and weird, and that's a whole... I need to make that video already. I'll work on that. That's 5. That's 5 solid beats. And then I agree, Supreme Deity. I agree, the Demon King. Like, those arguments that he made, fine. Get 3 more? You have more than 3. You have more than 10. Because who else was at the Chaos Cath fight? Elizabeth, Gother, King, Bond. I ran out of fingers. If you couldn't tell, I ran out of fingers. So, like, I'm intrigued to see this one. This one, I mean, once again, you can't necessarily disprove the Cath. The only thing you would have to argue is that since Cath only has a portion of Cath, there's no way he could be stronger than the Prime Demon King, who should be at least, if you think that sealing, you need to have comparable levels of power to seal something in the Seven Deadly Sins world, or superior or comparable levels of power, then you should be able to, then you could make the argument that Chaos Cath falls beneath the Prime Demon King, because the Prime Demon King and the Supreme Deity together could seal away chaos. That means each of them individually hold about like 50% chaos tier power, and then you slap Cath, who only got Arthur's arm. And notably, it wasn't even his entire arm. Like, you see by 4 Nights, Arthur cut off the whole arm. But realistically, like, Cath got like up to here. He got all the forearm and then like some of the bicep in terms of how much. So like if you think chaos power is like evenly distributed throughout Arthur's body, then realistically Cath only got about a fifth, maybe even a sixth, considering how much your arm is of your total body mass of chaos power, and then obviously a half is greater than a six. So then you do that, Prime Demon King greater than Cath. And then bada bing, bada boom. That's how you would go against this. So I'm going to assume that's it. But let's see. Let's let Igneel spit.
The eighth person, Diane. So the reason why I think Diane would also be the one ultimate Escanor is because she was able to do damage to Chaos Cath.
What did I say? I know. My brain, it's slow. It does not cook too quickly. I'm far from the sharpest spoon in the kitchen shed, but I knew it. Tap the domer. Oh, Lord. So, and he's going to make a 7 deadly sins. I know. He going to cook. Oh, he going to get people so mad. Oh, he gonna get people so mad. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Oh, Lord. And you could die. You get a little bit buku bonkers at that, because you can definitely make the argument that is base Diane. That is base Diane that's able to damage Chaos Cath. So a Gideon Diane, or no, not a Gideon Diane, a Drill's Dance Diane would stomp on Escanor. Millie Rock on any block all over his grave. If you want to go with the chaos argument. I already presented a kind of counter argument. It's kind of up in the air. It really depends on how much chaos power and how much raw power and how much you think sealing integrates in like your overall amount of magical power, and the Supreme Deity and Demon King to work together on that. And by the time, and ironically enough, a weird thing is, I'm not sure if just because of the visuals and like the visuals shouldn't match the text, but by the time it's implied that the Demon King and the Supreme Deity make their respective realms, at least the Demon King's already old. He's not in his prime state when we see him get created. He's old. So I think those visuals just don't match up. So assuming you go with Prime Demon King stuff and the correlation of, oh, Prime Demon King should be 50% of chaos, and then Cath only had a 6th of chaos or a 5th of chaos, then Prime Demon King still higher. Escanor boxes on Prime Demon King, thus still beats Diane. Though if you don't agree with that argument and you just want to go Chaos Cath stronger than Prime Demon King because has a portion of chaos. Chaos is greater than Prime Demon King Supreme Deity. You could make the argument. Don't sleep. But let's see. I'm assuming that's what Igneel's going down.
Mind you, Cath, like cute, pudgy little, cute, pudgy little Cath was able to like rip off Arthur's arm. Arthur that absorbed chaos. Was also stated that Cath was able to fight chaos and eventually lost, so it shows that.
True. Oh, it's getting a little spicy. That's true. A base Cath was able to rip off Arthur's arm. The only thing is, question: how do you think durability works with How do you think durability works with 7 deadly sins? Because if you think Arthur was off guard there, which he very clearly was, then he was off guard. And we see, like, unless Cath had an off-screen training arc, Cath is inferior to, like, Chandler and Cusack. So unless you think Chaos King Arthur is less durable or as powerful as Chandler and Cusack, and, like, I mean, it's kind of a goon argument. It's kind of a goon argument that saying that base Cath scales to Chaos King Arthur. But it's not entirely a goon argument. If you think, because it's kind of implied, we see a mentally broken Derriere, who should be like extremely nerfed, nowhere near her full power. A amped, bloodlusted Death Pierce swings on her with a sword, which gives him a 10 times amp. His magic is likely infused into the weapon, and just breaks. So you could argue that base durability in 7 deadly sins, you can't like lower that. Like you may be able to lower your output, but you can't lower your like literal defenses. So if you argue that, and then base Cath is able to right off a Chaos King, who stayed to have the full power of chaos, and then he gets the amp from absorbing chaos, You can make the argument. And then Cath is described as being able to fight. The only thing I'm not too sure about with the Chaos versus Cath fight is that, like, was it really a fight? Or was it like, because Meliodas versus Doggetto was also a fight. It's on the wiki. It's counted as a fight. But that doesn't mean they were at all relative. So, like, that's the only thing about the base Cath versus Chaos thing. So I'm a little up in the air about this, but I can see the argument. That's the thing. This is an argument that I can see being made.
Cath, without a portion of Chaos's powers, is like relative to Chaos, and then he.
That's a little Goonie. That's the Goonies right there. I don't think you could say that because we have no evidence for how that fight went. We just know he did fight. It's not like he damaged Chaos. It's not saying that he damaged Chaos. It's not saying that he did any harm to Chaos or anything like that. It's just that he challenged Chaos, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm going to pull up the Carfax right now. I have the Googler on me. Let me pull up the Carfax right now real quickly and see. But I'm pretty sure that I don't think it's stated anywhere that, like, Cath put the pause on Chaos. Let me double check. So, how you guys doing today? I'm having a wonderful day. I have set across this whole day for bulk recording. So I plan to do a bunch of recording today. I already have a bunch of videos on the docket. In fact, as I was watching another and reacting to another video for this bulk recording session, I found a whole new channel that's popped up in my feed. And now I want to react to some of their videos too. I didn't even watch their first video. I just saw their title and it grabbed my attention. Have y'all, like, I don't know about y'all, but, like, YouTube's actually been, like, working on me real quick with all of the references it's been giving me. Like, the channels that be popping up in my recommended really be popping off. Like, low-key, I really be liking them. So I'm kind of definitely, I'm enjoying what I'm getting. So that's what I've been doing. That's one of my plans for the day. What are your plans for the day? Are you having a good time? I hope this is somewhat entertaining, just a little bit. Because, let me see, I'm in chapter 339. Let me take a look. No way. That creature's target, I didn't recognize him earlier because his appearance and magic are so different from before. Oh, okay, so he got weaker. Let's see. He is the incarnation of desire for the obsession. Wait, what? He is the incarnation of the desire for and obsession with power born of chaos. He craves the power to become the king of chaos himself, the beast tyrant who challenged chaos to a fight. Cath Palu, the monstrous cat who rakes with hooked claws. The legends has it he lost its fight with chaos and committed so much evil in the land where he was exiled and thus he sealed away by the goddesses. So yeah, he challenged chaos and lost. Doggetto challenged Meliodas and lost. I don't think we can say. I mean, once again, if we're being goonish, if we're being just like the Goonies, we can do it a little bit. We can do it, Pete the Shirt, but we can do it a little bit. We can make the argument. Like, for the sake of getting 10 characters who can beat the one ultimate Escanor, I'm down. But saying off that one statement that Cath challenged chaos and fought it, saying that they're at all relative, when we've seen in Seven Deadly Sins that you can have fights and be nowhere near relative to your opponent, I'm not sure about that. And plus, Arthur was off guard. So that's a double whammy wombo combo that I don't think I wouldn't use this to put Diane above the one ultimate Escanor, but I can see why one would. But let's hop into it.
So the portion of chaos, and Diane was able to damage that version of Cath, although I don't think she'll be able to beat Cath, which that'll be in another video. But her AP is up there. She was able to, like, hang around with the other sins, like, near the end of the series. Like, she was able to keep up with them. She wasn't getting, like, blitzed or anything. And unfortunately, Escanor was dead at the time, so we cannot assume that he'll be able to fight or do damage to Cath, because his best feat is doing some damage to the Demon King. So I think Diane wins in terms of AP and speed. Like Escanor's not a speedster. He's fairly slow. He's just like.
I wouldn't say that either. Escanor is far from slow. Escanor kind of blitzes everybody. Like, think about it. In his introduction, boom, swings Rita, blitzes Galland. In the fight against Meliodas, once he enters the one, boom, blitzes Meliodas, slices him in half. He does lumber around a bit though. He looks like he should be slow in lumbering, but he really isn't. Like, he's kind of a speed. In his fight against Estarossa, boom, knocks Estarossa in the face really, really fast. Like, he's like big, beefy like that. But look, even in his fight with the Demon King, when he starts like when he starts three-piecing the Demon King with no drink and no fries, like, he's not slow. I wouldn't say he's slow in lumbering, or else he wouldn't have been able to hit the Demon King. Unless you want to say the Demon King's slow too, and I don't think that's viable either. I wouldn't say Escanor is slow. And there are a couple ways you would like work around the argument. There are a couple ways. I mean, I'll let it slide. Once again, I'm just trying to get to 10 characters with you. But I think you can tell by my like hesitancy. And the thing is, saying that you would have to the only thing you would have to substantiate is that somehow, even though all the sins were super heavily fatigued after the battle with the Demon King, and I'm pretty sure the chaos stuff happens literally within the same week, you would have to substantiate that the sins got massively more powerful. Like, base Diane got literally numerous tiers more powerful over the span of a week to say Escanor doesn't scale to any of them at all. I don't think that works. I say Escanor still does scale relative to the rest of at bare minimum relative. I don't think that's the most solid of arguments. Like, if there was a major time skip, if the chaos stuff didn't happen until like months later, but once again, let me double check. Let me whip out the Googler. We're about to have another casual conversation. So how you guys doing today? I already asked y'all that. What are your plans? I have no idea when this video is going to go up. This is the second or third. I think this is the third video I bulk recorded, so I have no idea when this video will be going up. It may be going up tomorrow. I know it's not going up the day I'm recording it. So what are your plans for tomorrow, the day after that? If you're watching this on the weekend, what are your plans for this weekend? Are you going to have a good old wonderful time? I mean, I hope so. I hope everyone has a wonderful time because, I try to. Got to keep living life on the good end, but let's see. Arrogance over just stars. Okay, let me see. So Escanor perishes, burns, and let's cut. End of an era. The sun. The disaster's over. King Bartra defeated the Demon Lord and returned home. Elizabeth is safe with them. Let's welcome. Hold a festival. Wait, Gil, where are you going? To the Lions of Pride. To love another. Mark the age. And then I see as fellow comrades. So I think it's kind of crazy because unless I missed something, I was just quickly skimming through the text. But I think it's kind of crazy to imply that after power limit breaking them, and then literally probably an hour later, a few hours later, because it seems like the chaos stuff in the Demon King fight happens on the same day, based on the fact that Elizabeth's still offering to heal Merlin's burn because it's not a scar yet. I think it's kind of hard to argue that base Diane went from being like, even Gideon Diane doesn't harm the Demon King at all. So like, I think it's hard to argue that within the same day, Escanor went from the second strongest sin to the weakest just because he doesn't fight Chaos Cath. Like, there's nothing to indicate that the sins got massively stronger or anything like that. So a little disingenuous, a little bit. I'm not sure I'm 100% rock with that, but like, I see the argument for the sake of argument, even though I still personally think that the Prime Demon King is stronger than Cath, because Cath only got a portion of Chaos, and regular Cath doesn't scale at all to Chaos, and Arthur is off guard. And we know Arthur goes into multiple levels with Chaos. Like, base Arthur without the Chaos Eyes is not using the full power of chaos at all. He's just holding it in his body. So I don't know. That's a little
Best,
little
like,
iffy. Let's
his
see.
main thing is just do big damage. Like in character, he punches you, you hit him back, and it just like goes back on, you know, back and forth. But if someone who's like so massively above his level, he'll most likely won't do any damage and then just get negged. Similar to how how assault mode Meliodas was able to when they very first fought was able to just like neg Escanor. Diane also has like crazy hacks as well, abilities. Queen Embrace, like Escanor has nothing to do. Like he doesn't have anything to do with that. And then what's he gonna do when she creates, I don't know, I forgot the name of that ability. I think it's called Mother Earth Catastrophe. I was like, he won't be able to do anything at that point.
He could just dodge it. Like, well, see, putting myself in the perspective that Chaos Cath is leagues above the Demon King, or a league above the Demon King, let's say, and Diane's able to keep up with and harm him, then yeah, Escanor wouldn't be able to do anything because he'd be way weaker and way slower. But in most contexts, Escanor just brute forces anything Diane does, if not flat out blitzing her before she does anything. I guess I gotta look at it from the context Igneel set up here. In the context that Diane is like leagues above Escanor through being able to damage Chaos Cath, and Chaos Cath is supposed to be above the Demon King and the Supreme Deity by being relative to Chaos without the Chaos Amp and then getting a Chaos Amp, then sure. Somebody just don't. I mean, maybe it's maybe the Escanor stand in me is coming out. Maybe that's it. Maybe the Escanor stand is coming out in me. Let me suppress the Escanor stand. If I suppress the Escanor stand, then yeah, because he wouldn't be strong enough. He wouldn't be strong enough. He wouldn't be fast enough to dodge anything. So he would get hit by Mother Catastrophe and die. I guess that's it. Yeah. Interesting.
And also in the current new series of Seven Deadly Sins,
Four Knights.
The other sins are a threat to Chaos. Well, to Chaos Arthur, who not only absorbed Chaos but also Cath. So, yeah, Escanor would just get mollywopped by his crew. Just the power cliffing is so great.
So okay,
Coming in,
I'm gonna assume it's the same thing for Bond. I'm gonna assume it's I guess if it, because you open with Diane, you open the floodgates to the rest. I'm also like just generally not sure how I feel about the Seven Deadly Sins all being a threat to Arthur because of how powerful Arthur is established to be. Because then essentially you got to argue, if all of them are able to damage Arthur, you got to argue all these characters are now True Magic Mel level. They've power clipped True Magic Mel, because True Magic Mel isn't strong enough to beat Chaos. It is almost, according to Nakaba, almost as powerful as Chaos. Not at the level of Hakumama, not at the level of Chaos. So almost. So you're telling me now that Gother is strong enough and fast enough to mop True Magic Mel? You're telling me You're telling me base Diane is powerful enough to mop True Magic Mel? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's possible. Once again, I don't necessarily find it too crazy. Like, look at how strong Lance is. But even then, Lance is up in the air too. I'm not sure. I mean, stroking the beard a little bit. Gotta consider. I don't know. But we'll let it rock.
At number 7, Bond. So, pretty much the same argument I gave for Diane.
Yep.
He's shown feats to be able to damage Cath. Well, most of the crew was able to to do some sort of damage to Cath. Even Merlin, well, although Merlin didn't do visual damage, she did do damage to him, enough damage for him to grunt in pain.
I'm sorry. Because it's right here. I'm still just looking at it. I'm just popping through real quick. Let me take a look. Let me take a gander real quick. Know what I'm saying? Let me take a quick look. Quick peek. He doesn't even grunt in pain. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But the main battle I'm looking at, right? Let me go back to the previous chapter. Maybe because the battle starts in that previous chapter. Maybe she does there. Oh, she gets him to go. But I'm not sure if that's a grunt in pain or anything. And once again, the lack of any visual damage too. Like, let me show you how many fat stacks I have. Hold on. This is a penny. Ow. Is that penny now relative to me? Because it hit me and it caught me off guard. Because I did actually catch myself off guard there. Like, yeah, like it's gonna sound crazy, but like, have you ever said ow, but you didn't actually hurt yourself? Like, I do it all the time. Like, I'll bump into something and go, ow, even though, like, in retrospect, that did absolutely nothing to me. That's what I think happens here. Because his face gets moved. It's impressive that his face gets moved, but Merlin actually does no damage to Cath. Like, not an iota, a speck of damage. It doesn't force him to regen at all, at least in the little fight that we see. Like, he hits her a lot, or she hits him a lot, but it doesn't actually do anything. Like, literally no visual damage, and she gets one grunt out of him. So, I'm not all too sure. I'm not all too sure about that. Not all too sure about that. But, you know, okay, we're gonna let it rock. We're gonna let it rock. Lee went to rock with it. Yeah, we'll leave one rock with it.
But back on topic. For Bond, all he needs to do is just do like physical hunt.
Yep. Or that's the main argument I would make for Bond against Escanor.
About Escanor's heart, or just
that
50%, or even all of Escanor's like physical strength and speed, similar to how we did to like Meliodas all the way back in the tournament. Yeah, all the way back into the tournament. Not the second tournament, but like the very first tournament, all the way back in season 1. I think it was like episode 12 or 13. Similar there, and then Escanor would just be a punching bag at that point. I mean, probably not worse than a punching bag. He'll just get one-shotted at that point. So, yeah. And he also has a sacred treasure, which just pretty much multiplies his stats by a lot. I already went through this in one of my previous videos.
I'll make sure to check out that video.
Go check it out. 6th place, we have.
Okay, Cath. Yep. For the Bond stuff, I'm in the camp that Bond gets speed blitz. Like if you've seen my ranking of it, if you've seen my recent talk about the ranking of the Seven Deadly Sins by Roaring Thunder, Pursuit, and Kaisan, I've gave my opinion on that. I think Escanor just, especially the one ultimate, just runs up and poof, like knocks Bond's head off before he could really do anything. Though I do agree, if like Escanor waits too long, like literally stands there too long, and Bond's actually trying to win, physical hunt, Escanor gets drained of a lot of his juice, and Bond should be way more tolerant to more amounts of power than he was at the start of the series. He was able to absorb the power of someone that was like many times stronger than him then. I wouldn't say Escanor is definitively stronger than Bond, but not so many leagues that I think Bond wouldn't be able to beat Escanor down if he had taken his ability. So Bond's a valid one. Bond's a valid one that I like. Yeah, I can see Bond winning. Diane, I'm still a little bit caught up on, but like, that's whatever. Do what you will with that. And Cath, yeah, I think Cath wins. Because Escanor has no way to beat him. If Escanor had ceiling, then maybe. Because, once again, I personally believe that Prime Demon King's above Chaos Cath just based on the portion of Chaos that Cath managed to absorb, and I don't believe base Cath has any relativity to full form Chaos. I just don't believe that, and I believe Arthur was off guard. But if you believe, especially if you believe that Cath is above the Demon King, then there's like no way, because Cath would not be damaged. Well, he could get damaged still, maybe, by Escanor's physicals and magicals, but he would never be able to get rid of him. He would just keep, I'm back. Like, he would literally be unstoppable. Because sure, we've seen Escanor's flames negate some regen, but like Cath's regen is like beyond the level of Bond's regen, which is like described as like, and Cath is described as like a being beyond life and death. Like that's how up and high level Cath's regen is described to be. So like, I don't think Escanor has any win con against Cath. That one I 100% agree with.
Cath/Chaos Cath, which I'm pretty sure all of you already know. I'm pretty sure all of you already know why Chaos Cath would be Escanor. Simply, he will just eat him, just absorb him, and be like, yeah, he was tasty. And also, like, Escanor does not have any feats supporting that he'll be able to do any relative damage to Chaos. Wait, not to Chaos, sorry.
Disagree about that, but you know.
So yeah, and also yeah, Cath has like reality manipulation, well, especially the Chaos Cath. So Escanor will just get, it's just a hard stomp. Also, Cath transcends life and death, and Escanor doesn't have any answer to that, and neither does any of the other characters that I mentioned have an answer to that.
And that's wrong. Well, do you think the Supreme Deity and Demon King could seal on their own? So they'd be able to seal Cath. All you need to do, I say that like that's so easy. All you need to do is seal them. But like, seal Cath. They can seal Chaos away. You don't think they can seal away? Once again, them working together could seal Chaos away. So I think one of them individually could seal away a portion of Chaos. Because it's not, once again, it's not even like Cath has half of Chaos. It's not like he has 2/3 of Chaos. He has a 5th or 6th of Chaos. The Demon King could just Aguriba, and then bada bing, bada boom, sealed. And the Supreme Deity, who also can seal, would probably be like Aguriba, and like put a higher note on the ba in order to seal Cath too. So I think they beat him. I think, but then again, that's my opinion. That's my opinion, and I will have to make a whole video about that. I need to make a whole video talking about that properly and in depth. So we'll see.
So yeah, Cath would just most likely either eat Escanor,
yeah,
pause, or
hey,
or
Cath's into it.
Yeah, just outlast them, reality manipulated, like his surroundings, probably just like torture him, similar to like how Arthur, like, well, current Arthur tortures his own men whenever they do something bad. He's pretty much like a cat toy at that point. How cats just play around with their food. Okay, this one's a bit outlandish, but there is a good argument.
Is there?
At 5th place we have Merlin, and the before you start typing in the comments, the reason why I put Merlin above Cath and why I think Merlin would body bag the one ultimate Escanor is because of her insane hacks, right? Like, she could BFR Cath to, Cath and Escanor, the one ultimate, into purgatory if she really wanted to, or the demon.
Can she though? Can she really? I mean, can she really though? Because why didn't she? If she could have, why didn't she? Because we see she can tag Cath. I'll give Merlin the speed. She can tag Cath, and you put Cath above Prime Demon King, blah blah blah. I've said it enough already. But like, if she can just BFR somebody to a separate time space, she would have. Especially in the case of Cath. Because it's not like unlike Arthur was the one who came with the idea of consuming Cath and like reabsorbing him entirely. Merlin didn't come up with that. So if Merlin could have BFR'd Cath to purgatory, he would have. Or she would have. I think so. I can see the argument for why she wouldn't do it to the Demon King, because she specifically wants the Demon King dead. Like, she wants the Demon King gone. So I understand why she wouldn't BFR him. But if she could do it to Cath, she would have. And I don't think the only time we've seen someone, or Merlin BFR someone to purgatory specifically, we've seen her battlefield removal people. Like, she did that to Vivian. She spammed BFR all over Vivian. But the only time we see it is Hawk, who has a direct link to purgatory through his eyes. Like, you literally even see Merlin activates it and sucks him in through his eyes. For her to open a portal to the demon world, it took her a while. She needed to, like, open that. And that runs on the same time flow as the main realm. So I don't think she can just BFR people to purgatory. She would have. I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. That's a little bit stretching it. I don't know about all that. She can BFR people in the same realm, but not to a whole different time space. I don't think so. Well, let's see.
She could BFR them, or even just stop time around them.
And by the way, she couldn't do that to the Demon King. The Demon King would ignore all of that because he has the ruler. And I don't think the Supreme Deity is going to stand around and let Merlin cast Chrono Coffin. Even, I do agree, it's faster than what it was portrayed in the Demon King fight, but I don't think it's that speedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's like, whoop, right on the dot, and then you get Chrono Coffin, and it's like, oh, I guess I lost. I don't think Merlin she can't just pop it out like that. Like, they had a whole little battle with Cath in that one alternate timeline that we get to see before she can actually properly Chrono Coffin him. If she could just Chrono Coffin him like that, she would have done that to Cath too. But she couldn't. Because Cath would have body bagged her. So I don't know about the BFR. I don't know about the Chrono Coffin. I don't know about either of those things working on the Demon King, who would literally just laugh in her face. So I don't know about that.
And they're just stuck at place. And then it's like, that will be classified as just knocking out your opponent. So she would be able to do that. And in Four Knights of Apocalypse, she's also a threat to, well, all the sins are a threat to Chaos, Arthur.
Once again, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, are we coming together as a collective by being a threat to Chaos? Are we coming together as a collective and saying that individually, Gother would body bag True Magic Mel? Are we saying that? Or is that what we're coming to? Are we as a community, as we a collective, coming together and saying that base Diane? Base. Hear me when I say it. I do have the sword on me. But hear me when I say it. Are we really saying, like, look at me in the eyes. Are we really saying that base Boss Diane is slapping True Magic? Are we even saying Gideon Diane is smacking True? Not Gideon. I keep saying Gideon. Are we really saying that, what's her name, Droll's Dance Diane is really putting the paws on True Magic? No, are we really saying that? Is that the meta? I don't think that's the meta. I don't think that. I think maybe as a collective, they could press Arthur. But I don't think individually they're pressing Arthur like that. I don't think so. I legitimately don't think, except for maybe Mel himself. And Mel himself, being real with you, I don't think any of them are beating True Magic Mel. I don't know. That's a little bit up in the air. I'll let it rock. But, like, I mean, that's some good weight, though. I may use that. If I really need to get some characters up there, I will use it. I will cheat. But let's see.
So, yeah, there's also that. So she probably would also be above him in AP scaling. And also, of course, speed, since she was able to hang around with, she was able to
I'll give him that.
Jump cath without getting in the other sin's way. That too. And also she also has insane hacks like limit break. She'll be able to break her own limiter and use power beyond her limits. And then she also has infinity, which can make any of her spells or pretty much anything last forever. And yeah, so she could cast perfect cube around Escanor and cast infinity on it at the same time and shoot and
that's a win con. I'll give him that. Merlin has a win con against a lot of people through perfect cube. Perfect cube. Actually, no, she doesn't. I mean, unless you want to argue, the one thing you could argue is that hypothetically, either A, Merlin dropped the perfect cube that was around Hawk, or the Demon King had Mel's ability or the ruler in Mel's body when he destroyed a perfect cube. But I don't think either of those are the case, because I don't think he had the ruler at that time, because he still gets affected by Gother's magic, so he clearly doesn't have the ruler at that time. And also, we never see Mel's ability used like that, to like erase things just through contact with the hands. He needs to make that attack. That's the attack. He has to make that attack, or he needs to throw the magic away. Not the hands themselves do not have an existence ratio property. So we know the perfect cube can just be bulldozed through by beings of DK Mel level. And I think we can all agree that the one ultimate Escanor is above DK Mel level. So I don't think the perfect cube would work out like that. But maybe you could argue the perfect cube got stronger. Maybe she could just make it stronger. Infinity enhance it. And then bada bing, bada boom. It'll be strong enough to hold Escanor, I guess. Let's see. Though I do agree, against most people, that is a win con. If she just, like, if either A, Merlin sits in perfect cube and just stalls them out for eternity because they would never be able to break through it, or she puts them in perfect cube and walks away, then it usually is a win.
It's gonna just be, like, stuck. He'll just burn out his life. Just, yeah, that is actually, she would actually do him dirty. And like, she also has, like, teleportation. Like, she'll be dancing around this guy. Not Merlin, Escanor wouldn't be able to do anything. It's just embarrassing at that point. And for fourth place, we have Chaos.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any contention about this.
I'm gonna remind you, Chaos created their verse. So he created the Supreme Deity, he created the Demon King, he created Cath, he created their world. He created the magical system of their verse. So it's like,
I don't think he did that, because Chaos operates under the magical system of the verse. He created their magics. I don't think he created the magical system of the verse. That and the, like, physical verse itself both predate Chaos, because we have the ancient stars, and Chaos is also adheres to the rules of the magic system of the verse. I don't think he made that, but
since it's just, yeah, Arthur would do man's dirty as well.
I agree. That's true.
Lancelot will be second, because he just scales above Chaos Arthur. In the recent manga, Lancelot was able to make Arthur bleed. Well, make base Arthur bleed, but base Arthur is like, to explain Arthur, like Chaos Arthur, is that in his base he's still as strong as the fusion of Chaos and Cath, because the only time, like, yeah, like when he goes like all Chaos up, he's just mainly using like hacks, right? He just
base Arthur is really weird to scale. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's as powerful as the full fusion. I just don't. I think he is stronger than just regular Arthur, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's as powerful as full fusion. I do believe the eyes indicate how much chaos level he's using, how much of that power he's really tapping into. And we see there are multiple levels to it. He has regular himself with the regular eyes, then he has this grayed eyes, then he has the black eyes. And I personally, I don't even think the black eyes are his full power, because we see him get shook by Lance. I can agree. Lance probably scales above base Arthur, but I don't think base Arthur is full chaos level, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's the full power of the fusion. I just don't think that. I don't think that at all. Because I don't know, it just doesn't, I mean, it doesn't make sense. And I do get what Igneel means here. Like, oh, when he uses the eyes, he mainly starts tapping in the hacks. But, like, he's still, well, no, he regens with the hacks. So, like, he does, I don't think so. I don't think so. Here's the thing. I cannot come up with a solid argument off the top of my head to disprove why base Arthur wouldn't scale to, like, the full fusion, but I don't think it does. I don't think it does. And then even a full power lance doesn't actually even tag Arthur, because Arthur casually just, like, voids his hand through his body. So I don't know. Once again, Lance and his skilling with Arthur and where that all goes is very interesting. I'll hold my opinions off on that until I make a proper video about it myself. So we'll hop into that later. But let's see.
using like the reality warping side of chaos, but his base would it wouldn't change the strength or power he has to his base.
I
So yeah,
disagree.
there's that, which makes sense as he absorbed chaos and cath in his base, and then yeah, Lancelot scales above Chaos Arthur, making him bleed, blitzing him, toying around, yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is also self-explanatory. The one ultimate Escanor would also get one-shotted
I
by
agree.
base Lance. Like not even a Lancelot that's going all out, just base Lance. Will probably like just like blitz him and one-shot him, and he won't be able to do anything. So yeah, that's
I agree. If you take the Arthur stuff at face value and you assume that base Arthur has access to all the raw power of chaos and he only gets the hexes when he turns the eyes on, he doesn't actually get. It seems weird, but whatever. If you go with that, then yeah, Lance would slam. Lance would blitz and one shot Escanor. I agree with that. That makes perfect sense.
that's also an easy neg. Next, Meliodas. So, reason why I put Meliodas at number one is because he was able to like fight Chaos Arthur in his base. He did flicker Demon Mark, but like he tried to attack Chaos Arthur all maxed out while using Chaos's abilities in his base, and he didn't like when Arthur was flexing his powers, he didn't feel threatened enough to like use Demon Mark again or Assault mode.
I agree.
So if he were to use either of the two, that version of Arthur would get naked. Not only that, Arthur stated that Lancelot is below Meliodas. Lancelot being able to like,
Which is another reason why Lance's scaling is contentious. That's super weird. Like, if base Mal was still above Lance, then does Lance really scale, or was Arthur really just suppressing himself a whole bunch? I've talked about it in this video.
make Arthur bleed for the first time in like 16 years. So yeah, I think that's also self-explanatory. Like, if said character can blitz and dog walk Arthur, and Arthur stated that, hey, that guy is below Meliodas, then it isn't like it's logically it's reasonably enough to assume that Meliodas would be able to do the exact same thing, just a lot worse. So he wouldn't even need his abilities to really neg what's his face. Sorry,
Escanor.
I'm doing this just off the top of my dome.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So he will be able to neg the one ultimate Escanor, and if Meliodas really wanted to, he'll still be able to use true magic. Like, true magic isn't gone out of existence, gone. It's just like it just takes time for that amount of like magical.
The world is in one piece. The world is in one piece. You thought everything was a JoJo reference? Lies. Everything is a One Piece reference because the world is in one piece. No, but true magic's gone because the world is still here. I mean, here's the thing. You'd have to go with my theory. You'd have to go with my theory that the Demon King was just a liar. The boy's a liar. The boy's on fire. I'm sorry. But you would have to go with my theory that the Demon King was just a liar. Like, he was straight up lying. Like, oh yeah, if you have that level of power, you ain't living in the mortal realm, buddy. That just ain't you, dog. The world will be destroyed. You would have to go with my theory that the Demon King was lying about that for true magic to still be around. But if not, if you don't believe that, then he got rid of true magic. He threw it away so he could specifically live in the mortal realm. And considering we're 16 years in the future and the mortal realm's still around, true magic's gone. You just don't have it no more. So I don't know. I don't think he can whip out true magic. I don't think so. But let's see.
Power to be restored. It was stated that the Demon King would take like maybe a few decade, a decade or centuries to restore his prime power again. So knowing how Meliodas works, he gets like he restores his powers pretty quickly, based off of like throughout the series of 7 episodes. So he most likely has.
I'm tripping the screen, but yeah, this black.
Like he most likely has true magic. So Escanor is just screwed if he ever uses true. Like no, he's just screwed. Just base Meliodas. He's screwed. He's done. Yeah, Meliodas will probably just start with dog walking too. Anyways, that's it for this video. Cheers. Enjoy your day. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I also don't know when I'm going to make the next video.
All right. So, all right. So W video. I will. As you can see, I have been holding it. So let me just. W video. Still, regardless, I do like. Once again, I see all the arguments Igneel's making. I don't agree with them. I don't agree. Some of them I agree with. Like I said, I have no contentions about the chaos, cath. Well, I have contentions about where chaos cath scales and stuff like that. But like for people who would beat him, some of the win cons he gave, I agree with most of them. It's just like Diane. They got leagues more powerful within the same day. After being stated that they'll be fatigued for a week, really. Like I don't buy everything, but that's just my view. Those are my thoughts on that. So I can understand. You can have different thoughts. He's made arguments. The arguments do exist, so I can rock with that. 10 characters who can beat the one ultimate Escanor. If you want to throw in the rest, it's like Bond. He tackled Bond. You could throw Gother in there. Throw King in there. Throw everyone in there. Why not? Let's just go wild. Let's go buck wild. If we're gonna be completely honest. So overall, W video. However, what do you guys think? Do you think all these characters could beat the one ultimate Escanor? Do you think only some of them can? And if so, who do you think? Or do you think he missed out on characters who could beat the one ultimate Escanor? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, run up the original video, run up Igneel's channel, go sub, go like up. He has a bunch of other content up. I'll probably try to react to more of that too. Not just this video. This video popped up in my feed 22 hours ago. Probably now 23 hours ago, considering I've been recording for over an hour. So make sure you go peep that. We want to run it up. We want to get more Seven Sins content up there and in the rise. So please go check it out. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave Blazing Sun in the comment section down below if you made it all the way to the end of the video, because it is a chunker right here. This is indeed a chunker. So leave Blazing Sun down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. To like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where each will for as low as one down month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off.